Students, yet another video of the second part of the same lesson, the little girl Kezia. The first part is very clear that she is much afraid of her father. She feels he is like a giant. She is trying to talk, not able to talk. There also father is finding the mistake that she is staring and he shouts, "You are looking like a owl." Now what happens? One day when she was kept indoors with a cold, grandmother told her that father's birthday was next week. She was not feeling well. She was in the room because she was not feeling, she was having a cold, common cold. So grandmother came to her room and told, "Your father's birthday is coming next week. Why don't you give a gift? Why don't you give a gift to him and make him pleased so that he will become friendly with him?" See the good idea grandmother is giving? Idea is good, no? When you are afraid of your father, give him a gift on the birthday, father will become nicely talking, "Yes, beta, kaisa," so that she can talk nicely. So grandmother gave an idea. And what is a gift can be? And suggested she should make him a pin cushion for a gift out of a piece of beautiful yellow silk. Take a silk cloth and make a pin cushion. You know what is pin cushion? A small cushion in which pins can be kept for office purpose. You have seen in the office and lots of spongy things are kept for keeping the pin. Some people make a small different shapes. If you check in Google or just images of pin cushions, you will see so many small cushions made up of velvet or silk in which pins, clips can be pressed and kept. That is called a pin cushion. So what's the grandmother told? You make a small pin cushion out of the yellow silk, beautiful one, and give it to father. So cloth is there. Beautiful yellow cloth. Something has to be filled in, maybe sponge or paper or something, cotton or something, so that it will act like a cushion so that you can put the pin on it. So pin cushion, you make it and give it to father. Laboriously, working hard with a double cotton, using cotton, and the little girl stitched three sides, but what to fill it with? That was the question. Working hard, she made three sides stitched with the hand. One side open to fill something in and stitch it later. She made a small cushion. But in the inside something has to be filled. That was a question. She doesn't know what to fill. She started searching. The grandmother was out in the garden and she wandered into mother's bedroom to look for scrap. Scrap means waste materials. On the bed table, she discovered a great many sheets of fine paper, gathered them up, tore them into tiny pieces and stuffed her case, then sewed up the fourth side. She kept on searching what I can put, some waste material. On the bed table, near the bed, there's a small table. Usually, big houses, everywhere you can see. Bed will be there, near to that a small table, teapot or something is kept. Why? To keep the basic file, spectacles, mobiles and all. So, in the table she saw so many papers, fine paper. She took it, tore and make small pieces, filled inside the cushion and stitched the four side also. That night there was a hue and cry. Again a phrase. Hue and cry. What is hue and cry? A loud outcry, a commotion, a confusion, shouting. Sometimes in the house between two people some fight occurs, verbal fight. When it occurs, all together they will be shouting and others will be telling, keep quiet, no, try to understand. This kind of situation is called hue and cry, a loud outcry or a commotion. For example, somebody falls in the classroom. All will say, what happened? This kind of gathering and sound making. That is called commotion or hue and cry. That night there was a hue and cry in the house. Father's great speech for the Port Authority had been lost. The problem is that he made a speech written in a paper which is lost. All are searching for it. That is the sound occurring there. Rooms were searched. Every room, everybody searched. Servants questioned. They asked the servant, did you see this paper? Finally, mother came to Kezia's room. And asked, Kezia, I suppose you didn't see some papers on the table in our room. In my room, where your father and I am sleeping, that is, where his mother and father is sleeping, in that room, in the table, I think you didn't find any papers, isn't it? Because mother always think that she never do such a thing. She is a very scary young girl. So she asked, you didn't see any papers there, no? I think you didn't see. We are all searching for that paper. It was a speech of the father for presenting on the Port Authority. Oh yes, she said, I tore them up too for my surprise. Asia very innocent. She told, yes, I saw paper. I tore it and put it in the pin cushion. What? Everyone is shouting, he lost his speech which he wrote and kept. Now she is coolly telling, I tore it into pieces and put it in the cushion. What? Screamed the mother. Come straight down in the dining room this instant. This instant means this moment. That right now. Come down. Come to the dining room. Father is angry, grandmother is searching, servants are questioned. And you are happily telling that I tore the paper and kept it inside. And she was dragged down to where father was pacing to and fro. To and fro means forward and backward and forward and backward. In an angry mood, when person is walking, it is called pacing. Walking with anxiety or anger. To and fro means going that side, coming back side, going that side, coming back in the same position without any aim. That is what is meant to be pacing to and fro. Hands behind the back. Hands behind very seriously. Keep moving. Where is my paper? Where is my paper? It's a very important speech. Well, he said sharply. He said, yes. What had happened? Mother explained everything. Mother explained that this girl has taken her speech, tore into pieces, put it inside the cushion and stitched it. He stopped and stared at the child. Did you do that? Again her stammering, the stuttering came. No, 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 she whispered. She whispered, no, no, because of fear, because he is shouting there. Mother, go up to her room and fetch down that damned thing. Damned is a bad word, comparatively used for bad purpose. So damn thing, that useless thing, you bring it right now. Which thing? The question she made. See that the child is put to bed at this instant. And take her to her bedroom and bring that useless thing right now. For him it is useless. It's a damn thing. But for her, it is her hard work to give it to her papa for the birthday present. Crying too much to explain, she lay in the shadowed room, watching the evening light make a sad little pattern on the floor. She was afraid, she was taken to the bedroom, and she was sad. She knows that father is going to shout or something. And evening, little shadows are also felt to be sad. Then father came into the room with a ruler in the hand. He came with a stick in the hand. I am going to beat you for this. He said, I am going to give you. Oh no, she screamed, hiding under the bedclothes. She was afraid, she told, no, 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 and she went inside the bed sheets. He pulled them aside. He removed all the clothes. Sit up, he ordered, and hold your hands. You must be taught once and for. Taught once and for. That is also a phrase. You can underline. Once and for. Once and mean once you must be taught and for forever. That's the meaning of once and for. Here the for is actually once and forever. You must be taught at least once and forever, or not to touch what does not belongs to you. Whatever things are not yours, you never should touch. You must learn that. I should teach you. But it was for your birthday. Again she told, but I didn't draw the paper for something else. It is for your birthday gift I did it. Down came the ruler on her little pink palms. But father didn't listen to that. He told, you must learn. Never touch others' things. Never teach the things which is not yours. You must learn that once and forever in your life. The ruler came in her hand. The pink hand was beaten with the ruler. Hours later, when grandmother had wrapped her in a shawl and rocked her in the rocking chair, the child clung to her soft body. Afterwards, grandmother came, held the child on the body and sat on an easy chair and started rocking. The movement of the easy chair is called rocking. What did the God made fathers for? She saw. She started crying. When the grandmother held, she was crying, and her question, why the God made these fathers? So rough and tough, so systematic, so disciplined. Why the God made this father? Young girls thinking. Here is a clean hanky, darling. Blow your nose. Go to sleep, pet. You will forget all about it in the morning. I tried to explain to father, but he was too upset to listen tonight. When she asked this question, grandmother heard that, even though it was very less voice. Grandmother heard because she was lying on the chest of grandmother. So grandmother told, take this handkerchief, clean your nose, go to sleep, tomorrow you will forget everything. I tried to explain your father, but he was too angry today. That is why he bet on your hand with a ruler. But the child never forget. Next time she saw him, she quickly put both hands behind her back and a red color flew into her face. But child never forget. Whenever she found her father near to her, her face became little red because of the memories of ruler hitting on the hand. The McDonalds lived next door. They had 5 children. Looking through a gap in the fence, the little girl saw them playing tag in the evening. You know what is tag? Touching and running and playing. You are going and touching, then he becomes the player, then he has to run behind others. Such games are called tag games. So, next to their house, the neighbors were the family called McDonalds. McDonald, his wife and his 5 children. So, through the gap in the fencing means the boundary which is made around the land which we have. Through the gap of the fencing, she could see McDonald and his 5 children playing in the garden. The father with the baby, Ma on his shoulder. One baby on the shoulder. 2 little girls hanging onto his coat pocket ran round and round the flower bed, shaking with laughter. When she is looking other house, the father is having one baby on the shoulder, other 2 putting the hand on the pocket, they are going around the flower bed and laughing and shaking. Here, my father is so strict and steady, hitting on my hand for tearing the paper, always rough and tough and disciplined and questioning me, and I am shivering. There you see the difference. That is also a father. 5 children, 1 child on the shoulder, 2 are there holding the pocket and running and laughing, that too in the garden. Once he saw the boys turn the hose on him. Hose means the pipe, the water pipe. Hose on him, and he tried to catch them laughing all the time. Once other 2 kids, they put the water on the father. That is McDonald's house, not her house. The neighboring house. There also one father is there, 5 children is there, they are playing, they are putting water on the father and he is trying to catch them with the fun. Here, father comes, everybody becomes silent, I become shivering and he asks, why are you looking like this? Did you be a good girl? Did you do that? Where's my cup of tea? Where's my paper? This is the way. So she decided, in the world, there are different kind of papas, different kind of daddies. She decided. That is what. Then it was, she decided, there were different sort of fathers. There were different sort of fathers. She decided. Now let us see in the third one how her things are changing.